we ain't rooted poo. Of y'all young, we keep a case, dog, Scooby-Doo. See a coon, slap a coon, I went 2 for 2. Yeah, y'all color, but y'all squares, to a Rubik's Cube. She seen a garment all wool, she like, who is you? Better one, I got that silker shocker, nigga, who the who? Spruce or Buddha Jew. Judah grew, we got them.
So it tells us to be not wise in our own conceits. So if we're wise in our own conceits, we start to be boastful about ourselves. We start to be excessively proud of ourselves, and we start to become vain. That's the big one, being vain, which we know that vanity, the Most High ain't dealing with vanity. Everything that we do should surround the ministry. It should surround showing love to our brothers and our sisters, building up the kingdom, the ministry. It shouldn't be about self-adulation. Like, hey, look at me. I'm this amazing person. Hey, come and worship me. Because that's all it is. Self-adulation is the want of worship. When you start to adulate yourself and want other people to do so. Ak, if you want to add something, you can.
Nah. I think the point I kind of thought of earlier, you already went into it, was in Proverbs 27:2, which we went into when it spoke about, letting another praise you instead of yourself. And when you go into the, I think I went into this last class too. When you go into that word for praise, what it typically denotes is a shining of something or a highlighting of something. And so a lot of times, what people tend to do things for is the recognition. Like they want to be esteemed in a particular way. They want to be looked at as, the mightiest brother. They kind of want to, forward a particular narrative about themselves, when in all actuality, the reason that we should all be doing this is to serve and please the Most High, and to also be of service for the body. It's not about, how great you are. And matter of fact, a passage just came to mind. 3rd John. Were you going to 3rd John at all?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so that just came to mind. 3rd John, and I'll cut across the grain. I'm not going to be too long. So this is 3rd John chapter. Well, it's just one chapter, verse 8. It says, "We therefore ought to receive such, that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have preeminence among them, receiveth us not." In verse 10 it says, "Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds, which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words, and not content therewith. Neither doth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church." So this brother Diotrephes, he was moving in the incorrect spirit, and he was exuding a lot of that conceit and that vanity, because it said he desired or he loved the preeminence. When you go into that word for preeminence, this is dealing with being superior, you having the rank and all of those things. And I know people like this, like they want to have the rank, and they start to move funny and deal with people in different ways. But obviously, as we read throughout the scriptures, and the brother has been going into, and he's going to go into later on as well, that's not the correct spirit to move in. So just wanted to bring that point out. But I'll pass it back to you, King.
I just I'm like, dang, that just reminded me of a scripture. I'm trying to think. Luke 14, I believe.
With the
go
the
to Luke 14. Con.
God.
Yeah, that just reminded me of that scripture. I'm like, hold up, we got to go there.
God.
And I think it started at 7. Yep, 7 through 11.
God. This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 7. "And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out of the chief rooms, saying unto them, When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. And he that bade thee, and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
We gotta wait for the Most High to exalt us. We shouldn't be seeking and searching for exaltation. That's not what it's about. We supposed to be just lowly servants. That's supposed to be the mission, to serve whoever the Most High God sends your way, so that you can show them the love of Christ, the love of Hamashiach. So, all praise to the Most High for the precept you brought out, because that prompted that in my brain to go to that scripture. So, all praise to the Most High. And
All
Shalom, brother
praises.
Jamal. Done, all praises out. You want to make a point, you can.
Yeah. It's a lot here, because that was a excellent point. That's one of my favorite passages. And that I live my daily life that way, because just like how the brother said, a lot of people in Israel, we're able to kind of gain access to certain people that are more popular, so to speak, and things like that. You start to get brothers' numbers, you start to get connected with people, and so certain people, they can take that and they let it go to their head, and they self-inflate themselves, basically. But something I always keep in mind, just to because I'm a younger brother, I keep this in mind. But we can apply this at any age. To be honest with you, this is Sirach chapter 32, and Marie verse 7 through verse 8. And so I posted it in the chat. It says, "Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked." Right. So like that first passage, like I know a lot of brothers, they kind of get, tapped in and connected with people. They get into certain spaces, they get a mic, a platform, and what happened is, they start they want to become their favorite teacher. Like they want to be the mighty young lion, the brother that's bringing it out. Like that's never been me. And even going back to the previous passage when it spoke about how the brother, he desired the preeminence. Man, you could ask a lot of the brothers around me. The preeminence is not something I'm going out of my way to seek. Like I'm not looking for it. Just whatever I have to do, I step up to the plate. But I'm not walking around saying, "Oh, brother, I'm an elder now." Like I don't just I don't just move like that. Like when something is needed, I step in and fill in the gap, right? But honestly speaking, and this is where the next passage comes into mind, we have to keep these things within our perspective when we're moving, especially within spaces where like maybe the great men of Israel, quote unquote, are, right. So this is Sirach chapter 32 verse 8. It says, "Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue." And the reason why this is an excellent wisdom is because a lot of times, great men, quote unquote, they compete when a brother or sister is meek, walking in the spirit. And what happens, just as we read in Luke 14, you get esteemed in a particular way. You get that glory because they see the character spirit that you're moving in. Like, like brothers that say to you, "Hey, this brother got a good spirit. This a good brother right here. This a good sister right here." But that didn't come from you trying to assert yourself and say, "Well, hey, well, yeah, I'm this," and I'm like, that didn't come from that, but that came from you walking in humility, just as we was going into earlier, right? Last verse, right? And I'm gonna pass it right back to you. I know I'm being a little bit long-winded.
Oh, you all right? You in the spirit? Let's go.
God, all praises. Last verse 9. It says, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. And this is something I hold to. Like I said, I hold to all of this wisdom on a daily, but like I think about this and I see it play out on the opposite perspective when I see brothers my age and even brothers older than me trying to, kind of jump in the mix and be the next great teacher in Israel. And then brothers would be like, yo, get out the way. and they be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? But
That's a few times.
God, man. But this is this stuff is true. And this stuff is honestly it's an excellent wisdom through the scriptures that we see communicated, especially here. And I take this to heart and I utilize it. And what happens, great men, they show respect to you. Like any resources you need, they make it available to you because they see the spirit that you're moving in. But this doesn't come by you trying to assert yourself as something, or you having this self-inflated situation about yourself. But just wanted to bring that out. I'll pass it back to you, King.
That's facts. I know firsthand experience. I've seen some things, witnessed some things where brothers, get treated like that. But I've also seen even, with some brothers that I didn't know would view me like they would, and say, "Hey, bro, you need to come over here with us," or certain things like that. Because just like you say, the spirit bears witness. Brothers can tell your intentions. Sisters can tell your intentions if they're around you long enough, or they start to study you and see what how you move. Like, man, this man, he'll just want to be seen. Or he got a good spirit. You eventually gonna be able to tell that. But all praise to the Most High. So let's go.
All our heroes in the bullet been no Comic-Con. Corey let me hold $1,000 Comic-Con. On my mama's son, crisis in my oil cracker. You know that cracking crackers righteous in the toil cracker. That barrel on the stick, license in the spoil cracker. Feel like you staring down a pipe of a manure cracker. So bug and play with it.